I grew up in the middle of suburbia in a pretty landscaped town where the lawns are all perfectly edged, and the grass is all the same height, and the trees all perfectly straight in like their little army rows, except for this group of 3 trees that kind of were growing parallel to the ground instead of vertically. So those were, of course, my favorite. They're a little less than a mile from my house, and I would go hang out there all the time. The best one, kind of a steep slope to it, so you couldn't really just run across it the way you could the others. But it had enough branches that you could still climb it pretty easily. So I would go there during the summer, have breakfast. When I got into film, I would read my scripts to it. And I knew that after I went to college, my dad was going to move to downtown San Jose, which is, you know, a pretty big city, kind of place where all the trees have big signs on them that say, "Don't touch the nature." So the day before I left, I went out to visit my tree with a couple of friends, and coming around the corner of one of the dugouts, I got hit right in the eyes by this blinding beam of sunlight, and I'm trying to like blink the spots out of my eyes as I walk towards my tree, except right as I get there, I realize that the tree is gone, and there's just this stump that comes up, I guess probably about waist high. So I'm appropriately outraged, like, what did they do to my tree? And my friend has the kindness to point out that, oh, it's growing into the baseball field. And I just stared at him kind of blankly, like, so what? And it's like, well, you know, they obviously had to cut it down, like, God forbid there be a tree in our perfect baseball field. So I was like, they could have moved the fucking baseball field. Like, there's all that grass, and there's only this one tree. And I probably shouldn't have been that upset. Like, I knew I wasn't going to see the tree for a really long time. I was going to college. But there's a difference between knowing that you're not going to see something and knowing that it's not there to see. I sat by myself on the tree stump for a little bit, sort of waiting to feel sad, but mostly I just kind of felt hollow. And I think that was when I really felt for the first time that I wasn't ever coming home.